Today we're going to be exploring tractor implements for the market farm. This is going to be part of a short series of videos I'm going to do with a few different various farms that I've visited over the last number of weeks. And I've been exploring a lot more larger scale agriculture, at least in the market farm context. Larger scale is in thousands of acres. We're not there yet, but we're looking at larger scale market farms. And want to explore some of the tractor implements that growers like this are using. So today we're going to be at Vitruvian Farms from Madison, Wisconsin, and you're going to talk to Sean Kuhn and Tommy Stouffer about the different types of implements they're using on their farm, whether it's greens harvesting implements, seeding implements, compost spreading implements, or bed shaping implements. We're going to look at the full tool set that these guys are using. Vitruvian Farms is about a 10-acre market farm, mostly producing greens, but they also have some mixed veg that they do for a CSA. They sell to 50 different restaurants, salad greens, and they're also growing mushrooms, though we won't be talking about the specifics of their operation today. We're just going to be looking at the implements they're using. But these guys run a very impressive operation. They've scaled up in a lot of ways that sort of at the point where a lot of market gardeners don't get to. So we'll look at these implements today, and this is just a small part of a two-part series that I did with Vitruvian Farms at FromTheField.farm, which the membership is open for now. So if you're seeing this video now, up until July 19th, we're going to be having the membership open, and this is the kind of content that's in the membership site. It's all very long form. This is a 2-hour video series that I did with these guys. It's a full tour of their operation, with looking at their mushroom operation, looking at the field, looking at specific crops, looking at their infrastructure. Their greens washing station is something else, and maybe I'll put that in another video here on YouTube. But again, if you want to see more stuff like this, head over to FromTheField.farm or follow the link in the show notes and join up.
My name is Sean Kuhn, and I'm the co-founder, co-owner of Vitruvian Farms. We are a certified organic vegetable and mushroom farm based just outside of Madison, Wisconsin. It's a farm Tommy, my partner, and I started in 2011, straight after graduating from college. And we're sitting on a 46-acre parcel that we finally just purchased in December of last year. We've been here since 2011. And it's been a wild ride. Do you want me to explain it all?
Absolutely.
Yeah, so you got your bandsaw blade in the front with a conveyor belt. Up here is where we stack it attaches the tractor with a 3-point hitch. And that's actually a hydraulic motor that's PTO driven. It's kind of interesting. So you got your empty bins sitting up here on the deck, and then you have your loading bins on the shelf back here. And you can also, if we have sometimes I harvest by myself, sometimes I harvest with an employee back here. They'll be standing on here or following behind, jostling the bins, making sure they're packed, telling me when to stop when they're full. Then we get the bins up onto the top here. We can carry back, we typically don't do more than 18, but we can carry like 24 bins on this thing fully loaded all the way back, which could be, almost half the harvest sometimes. And it's like any other tool. There's a learning curve with it. I had the blade come off on me a couple times because things weren't situated properly, but it's an awesome piece of equipment. We're hauling that on the New Holland here. We also have the seeder. This is the seeder that Sutton makes.
Yep.
It's got 2 seed hoppers in the back.
Yep.
They kind of, I really like this seeder. In comparison, like I said, comparison to the 6-row Johnnies, where I was doing 3 passes, and if you guys saw how many beds we have, I was walking 3 times on the whole distance.
You're walking thousands of miles a year.
I was walking a lot, and I was always finishing the planting by like 10 o'clock at night.
Oh.
And it was just, but yeah, these seed hoppers just come out. This has 2 rows of 9 shoes on it. It's a really good partner for the harvester, because these rollers finish your bed just super flat, which is perfect for the harvester. So another farm recommended that I get these in tandem. So
Wow. And then the density is controlled by this little thing that comes out, right? I think I've seen these before. This has the size of hole on it?
yeah,
Yes.
so there's little plastic, I think they were working off the Planet Junior hole sizes possibly.
Yeah.
But just little milled holes. This little motor just gets connected to the tractor battery, and so that's just spinning at a constant rate. And your seeding rate is a matter of how fast you're driving and what size hole you have for your plates.
Wow. What's this guy worth? 10 grand or something?
No, I think this was. I'd have to check to be exact, but I think $4,500 or so.
Oh, okay. It's funny, these things don't seem that expensive when you know.
I know it did to me like years ago, and
Yeah.
then when you start adding up all the time that you're doing this, and if you have the financing available, it's a no-brainer. We got the Power Hero last year, which I don't really use the rototiller anymore.
That's a Rinaldi.
Yep. So it's basically the same one that you're using on the BCS.
Right, yeah.
And I learned about that thing from all the people using the BCS.
Right.
The whole not flipping the soil, just kind of mixing it. And it's got its roller off right now because I was trying to custom fabricate. My original idea was to have kind of a bed shaper behind it.
Yep.
But it's really not sturdy enough to have all that jazz on there. So I've got the S-Tine bed shaper, which I can show you guys.
Yeah, let's check that out.
So yeah, the S-Tine kind of bed reconditioner.
Right, and so this is what you're doing for pre-emergent cultivation before plant, like those beds you showed us, those 6, that's what you ran?
This is what I'm using for, actually I'm using this now for my initial bed shaping, whereas before I was using this kind of rough shaper over here.
Okay.
But I'm using this for like bed shaping, for pre-emergence cultivating, and for ripping up beds as well. It's not doing exactly well enough of a job ripping up the bed, so I am using the Power Harrow in there. But it's doing almost everything, and I can go pretty fast with this. I'm in like 4th year.
Wow.
Most of the time on this thing.
Do you use a ripper or a subsoiler?
Yeah, I got the rippers right here. I got them set up right now to rip the aisles.
Okay, 2 shanks.
Yep.
Right.
But typically I'm ripping basically a third into the bed from the edge and another third into the bed from the edge. I got the ripper shanks last year, but when we were having a lot of drainage issues, when it never stopped raining. So, but I'm realizing this year that actually the higher bed top is also really helping me. So it's a mixture of both of them.
And I don't imagine you need to do that like every rotation, maybe once a year or something.
That's what I'm starting to think. Last year I was thinking I was going to need to do this more often, but now I'm realizing with the bed heights, probably once a year is fine.
And greens, and most of your crops are pretty shallow profile anyways.
Right.
Except your carrots, I guess. So this is essentially.
I'm thinking about getting the I can't remember what they call it, the bed lifter, which is basically almost like a saw looking thing that attaches between your rippers, and then you can go underneath.
For harvesting carrots?
Yeah, and it just lifts them up.
Yep.
Or garlic, or...
Yep. So, I mean, this is essentially a smart man's broad fork.
Yeah.
The ripper, right?
Yeah.
Because broad forking, did you guys do that when you first got into this stuff?
Yeah, at the very beginning. And actually, at a certain naive point, I was like, broad forking, we don't need to do that. And that was when we weren't doing any deep cultivation. Started realizing later, sometimes you're mimicking and you're not fully knowing why you're doing it.
Yeah.
So we went back to deep tillage.
Wow.
But yeah, a lot quicker than broad forking. I mean, I don't know what is the downside to this.
I don't either. I can't.
Is it a no tractor thing? Is that the whole?
I think it's totally this sort of dogmatic thing. I'm just like, I don't get it.
Right. Because if it was doing something that you didn't want it to do.
To me, it seems like this would do a better job with way less work and way
when
less
I'm
time.
when I'm pulling this with them 1/3 in the bed, I see the bed coming up like 2 inches.
Oh, totally.
You know, so
Yeah.
and that's way below where my roots would ever go, so I don't have to worry
Yeah,
about
and your
any.
broad fork could never get that deep either.
Yeah.
Without really just giving her. Sweet. Oh, and here's your compost spreader.
Compost spreader. So yeah, we're loading that in. You know, this was a huge upgrade for us
Yeah.
a number of years ago when we went from doing, you know, I told you we were doing 60 tons breaker and we were doing that by wheelbarrow for a little while.
Oh my God.
And yeah, we called it the Farming Olympics.
Oh.
And then yeah, we got this thing with the skid loader, and based off how much compost we're spreading, I think this is a necessary
What's
piece of
this
equipment.
puppy worth? 10 grand?
No,
Less?
I
It's
think
like 4.
Wow, man, this
Yeah.
stuff is
And
so...
this is also a really small version of it. They have a lot bigger one.
we had to widen the wheels. I think.
Yeah, we had
Yep, we put some sort of weird plates in there so that the wheels are riding the aisles and not
Yep.
riding on the bed,
Yep.
and it works perfectly.
Wow. How is this like? What did you say it takes? A couple yards or a yard maybe of compost?
I'd have to look back at the math, but it's basically a bucket and a half of the
Okay.
skid steer.
And this is like the width of your bucket, hey?
Yeah.
Perfect.
Yep. Yeah. It
Perfect.
It's all works out. And I do a big heaping load that gives me about 300 feet. If I'm doing salad greens.
So how does that work out logistically as far as where do you put your when you get compost, do you get them to dump it by the blocks or something?
Yeah.
So you're not coming
this year
back.
so far, I've only had 2 spots, one by the greenhouses and then one up by our road field up there, which we haven't been to. It was more important in the past, you know, because now I can do 300 feet on a load, but when we were doing 100 feet, it was actually a 2-man job. So a guy would actually be coming to meet you with the skid steer to hasten the process.
Damn.
Yeah, that took ages. That was hours to
Another
get
one
the
of those things,
compost
too,
out
where you're
there.
spending so much time driving back and forth with a skid loader when a tractor drives so much faster. So now he just leaves the tractor, or he leaves the skid loader parked right at the compost, does 300 feet, and then jumps off the tractor, does it himself. And then you don't have someone sitting there waiting.
Yeah. On a machine.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, burning fuel. Wow.
Hope you guys enjoyed that one. If you did, give the video a thumbs up, share it, and join FromTheField.farm if you want to see more content like this. I'll also leave a link to Vitruvian Farms in the show notes if you want to learn more about them. All right, have a great day.